it didn't land right with me. Like, they looked more like Transformers than they looked like Power Ranger mech stuff.
Can we please let go of it having to be Power Rangery? That's part of the problem why this shit ain't around no more. This is Brennan Mejia, who we all know as Tyler from Power Rangers Dino Charge, right? The only season in the Neo Saban era that you don't want to just take syringes of different drugs and just stab yourself with them to get over the watching period, okay? That's the only thing that's decent from that era. And he played the Red Ranger. He has a little YouTube channel, a nice YouTube channel. I don't want to diss, where he talks about things involving Power Rangers, his time on the show, the future, and he had a nice little video talking about why the 2017 movie failed. I haven't seen it yet, but we're going to watch it together on stream so that we could possibly maybe understand where he's coming from. Because there's a lot of reasons why the 2017 movie ain't work.
Hey guys, Brennan Mejia.
This nigga. Hey guys. That nice, friendly Nickelodeon shit. Hey guys. Hey buddies. Hey friend. Hey guys. Here we go.
Hey guys, Brennan Mejia here, the Red Ranger from Power Rangers Dino Charge. Today we're going to discuss 10 reasons why the 2017 Power Rangers movie didn't quite hit the mark amongst fans. Now, I know this movie came out a while ago, I'm a little late to the party, but that's what we do on this channel. We talk about things that already occurred in the past quite often. Without further ado, let's get into it. Number 10.
Oh, his editor's a nice little editor. I know he didn't do this shit himself.
Monster design. By design,
okay, let's hear it.
I don't necessarily just mean the aesthetic of the monsters, but also their personalities or lack thereof. Specifically, I'm referring to the putties as well as Goldar. I didn't mind Rita Repulsa that much. I know some people had an issue with her, but honestly, I could have lived with the portrayal of Rita being a little different from Mighty Morphin, but the putties not doing the thing, they just felt more like golems made out of rock than these creatures that had human-like movements. They just didn't have the same appeal to me. And then in regards to Goldar, Goldar was literally like made of gold, a whole bunch of gold, and wasn't like, oh, Rangers, I'm gonna defeat you, you know? And I really like Goldar from the show because Goldar's voice is so iconic. And
okay, honestly, I kind of agree with that. Now, I don't want the cringe. You know, I don't want them running around sounding like turkeys. I don't want that. We got to get past that. And I don't need Goldar running around grumbling, I'm going to get you, Red Ranger. I don't need none of that goofy shit. But him talking about the designs, okay, you spitting right now.
Goldar is this cool flying bat humanoid creature thing. And without Goldar taunting the Rangers and back and forth with that dancer, it felt like it was just lacking. It was just this monster where our Rangers had personality, but they were fighting just like a cyborg that didn't talk, is what it felt like. So to me, that took away from what could have been. Number 9, Morphin time. Okay, this one is more of a minor complaint on my part, but because it's Morphin time is such an iconic line throughout Power Rangers, the way that it was delivered in the movie, it wasn't that it was a bad line reading. Honestly, I thought it was cool in the sense where he's like, it's Morphin time. You know, it had this gravitas to it, but I felt like it would have almost belonged better if they said it later in the movie a second time that way. Versus for the first one, I just feel as an audience, if everyone knew that line was coming, you could almost feel the energy being like palpable in the air if everyone was like, it's Morphin time all together. You know, how electric would that be, having the whole audience with all this energy and gusto? I just felt like that would have rallied the audience members more for those who grew up watching Power Rangers than the
First off, they couldn't really even yell it's Morphin time in the movie because they had morphers, but not really. If you look at the actual costumes, there's a morpher embedded in their belt, but they never use it. They never reference to it. They never grab it. It's never a prop you actually see. It's never anything like that. So they're going to yell it, and then what? Their suits just magically come on like nanotech in an MCU? The Morphin Time shout out only works when you have an item in your hand and a transition to assist it. It's Morphin Time. Boom. Nanotech. No. No. No, it don't work. It just don't work. It don't work. I didn't even need him to say it one time, to be honest with you. It would have been, I would have never been said. I'm past that. It's Morphin Time is so fucking
the more subtle undercurrent version that was delivered. And again, it's not that Dacre is bad. I think he's a phenomenal actor. I just, being a fan of that line specifically, just felt weird not being delivered the way that it's typically delivered in Power Rangers. Number 8, pacing. So this one's kind of hard because I did enjoy the backstory that they gave us on the Rangers and their family dynamics and all that stuff, and seeing them at school and seeing, you know, the bathroom scene with the sink getting broken and stuff, having them have powers outside.
What did you discuss with the Holy Father in that final meeting?
See the most astonishing performances of the year, and hands down the best picture.
Side of being morphed, all great stuff, but it came at the sacrifice of the movie moving at a pace that felt Power Ranger-y. Maybe if they would have increased the length of the movie or took away other parts, I can't even tell you exactly where I would have cut certain things. Other than that, it didn't quite mesh because of that pacing being a little slower. It felt like it robbed the movie of other chances to have more fight sequences or to have more fleshed out enemies, like I mentioned, with like Goldar having more personality or the putties. And I just felt like it was so much about them not being morphed that the morph part and the Megazord part kind of got robbed. And not that I didn't love seeing the civilian portrayals. Again, I thought the acting was phenomenal in the movie, but I just think the way that they split it up just was a little overwhelming. And so therefore we lost out on some of the other parts. It'd kind of be like seeing a...
Yeah, I agree. We definitely should have more scenes of them in costume, because I said it a billion times over, the last action set piece is so thrown together where you expect for me to believe that Kimberly is flying a jet, right? Any sort of preparation? Fuck out of here. The pterodactyl door was a fucking jet. Fuck out of here. Or you want me to believe that Jason just now got this power sword attached to his arm and he knows how to use it? We never saw this weapon at no point in the fucking movie. Now he using like a pro. Come on. Yeah, I agree. You spitting, Brandon. Go ahead, player.
Spider-Man movie where 2/3 of the Spider-Man movie is about Peter Parker and then you only get 1/3 Spider-Man. It's not that I don't enjoy Peter Parker, but I want to see 2/3 Spider-Man, maybe 1/3 Peter Parker. Again, that's personal taste. This is all just my opinion. I can't say this is the reason for sure the movie didn't do as well as they were hoping. Just some of the things that I think I would have enjoyed a bit more. Number 7, the suits. Now, talking about the Rangers, the suits didn't do it for me. And I know some people really thought they were cool, but honestly, if you didn't tell me they were part of Power Rangers, and you told me like before posters came out, and you're like, oh, these are the new bad guys in the next Iron Man movie, I feel like I would have believed you.
Why are these suits so controversial? Like, why is there always somebody complaining about these suits? I didn't hate them. I did not hate them. The only gripe I have about the suits, the only gripe is that it's hard to see what the individual Ranger is representing from an animal standpoint. That's the only gripe I got. It's hard to see the animal designs in the visor. You can't really see that shit. That's the only complaint. Besides that, the color, the specks of gray that break up the color palette, I love that. it being like an alien exo armor is beautiful. The diamond in the center of their chest being a representation of the Morphin grid inside of them is nice. That's a nice detail. That's also how you could pay homage to the OG MM costumes without it being cringy, right? Y'all also peep the morphers that are in their belt buckle, right? Shout out to Dino Thunder, where their weapons came out of their belts. They didn't get no weapons out of their fucking belt because they didn't have no goddamn power weapons in this movie. But the essence, in a way, is still there.
They very much borrowed that mecha kind of design, which is fine, but Power Rangers has a certain aesthetic to it with different colored spandex or riffs of spandex. Sometimes it's leather or whatever. But being metal looking, I don't know. I mean, and not to mention that the girls' suits had like built-in lifts or heels. And to me, that makes zero sense if it's supposed to be like this highly advanced fighting ability. Why the heck would you put heels on it? Like that doesn't help you fight better ever. I'm sorry, I don't see.
That's a good point. I ain't noticed the heels, but it ain't gotta be spandex. It ain't gotta be spandex. It ain't gotta be spandex. It ain't gotta be spandex.
The need for that in a suit design for martial artists and fighting, I would have liked the suits to be a little more kind of like the original Mighty Morphin movie, where they weren't the normal spandex from the show, but they.
Okay, now we cooking. Because everybody loved those suits. Now we cooking.
They were kind of like more aesthetically pleasing versions of it. You know, they got beefed up with like the power coin in the middle of the chest, and it kind of looked like armor, but it still definitely looked and felt Power Ranger to the eye. And I just didn't get that vibe with these alien-esque Iron Man robo suits. Someone somewhere I'm sure likes them. And again, it's not that I don't like them in a different universe.
Okay, now, Brandon, you're starting to piss me off a little bit because y'all peep game how he says one thing, then he starts doing a moonwalk. Well, I'm not saying, I don't want to piss nobody off. So if you like it, that's cool. I just kind of prefer no. Stand on business. Say what you say and keep it pushing. You ain't got to tap dance. Okay? You ain't got to do that, Brandon. Come on, man.
But for Power Rangers, I didn't like that. Number 6, Krispy Kreme. So, product placement.
Hell no. White girl Dawson's Creek shit. Get us out of here.
Basically is a thing where a product like Krispy Kreme will pay to be in a show or movie, or sometimes they'll pay to have access to that product to showcase in the movie. I'm imagining whatever reason they had a deal with Krispy Kreme, because I think Krispy Kreme even had like a promotion with Power Ranger themed donuts, if I recall. But it's one thing just to have a Ranger eating a Krispy Kreme donut randomly, but to make the whole thing about the Zeo crystals, if I recall, were under a Krispy Kreme and it tied into the story, that's too much for me. I'm sorry. Like
No, you ain't gotta say it and then back up. You ain't gotta apologize, because I think everybody that watched the 2017 Power Rangers movie can agree Krispy Kreme being shoved into that damn film was stupid. It was awful. Like having a Krispy Kreme in the background as the saber-tooth tiger Zord charges forward, or having a scene where the Rangers meet up at the Krispy Kreme and it's treated as a throwback to the juice bar. Or we're going to the local Krispy Kreme in Angel Grove. That's where all the teens hang out after school, after practice, after sports, after chess club, after detention. Cool. But to have it be a plot point where the Zeo crystal is under the Krispy Kreme, Rita Repulsa goes inside the Krispy Kreme and eats a donut. The characters mention the name Krispy Kreme. There's a Krispy Kreme cup that you got to zoom out from. Oh my God. Krispy Kreme is more involved in this plot than Alpha is. Krispy Kreme has a bigger piece of the story than the Zords. If I gotta say Krispy Kreme one more fucking time, I'm gonna turn into a Krispy Kreme. And if I do, I'm gonna start shitting on myself. Because all stream, I have been I have been farting. And the farts are getting wetter and wetter and wetter as the video goes on. God damn. Nigga, my backside is fucked up. I'm gonna need to take me a bath at the stream.
I couldn't buy it. It just fully pulled me out of the movie. And I was like, well, Krispy Kremes are real. That's great. But Krispy Kreme shouldn't be that much of the conversation for something that has nothing to do with Krispy Kreme donuts. And again, it's nothing against Krispy Kreme. I enjoy their donuts occasionally, but they pushed too much.
Not backing up to say what you're gonna say, Daniel Bennett. You ain't gotta apologize. Stop apologizing.
Number 5, fight locations. What I mean by that, oftentimes in a movie, where the fights take place has a lot to do with the stakes that you feel and the emotional connection with the characters who are fighting the forces of evil. So when the Power Rangers...
Like, for example, spoiler alert, but for those people that saw Captain America Brave New World, the final action sequence takes place by these Sakura trees, versus Sam Wilson combating Red Hulk. And the reason why it took place by the Sakura trees was because this was the place that Thunderbolt Ross wanted to have a walk with Betty Ross to reminisce about the days when she was a little girl and the days where he himself was a real father figure in her life. It had a sentimental attachment to Ross as a character. That's fight location. It means something, right? It's deep. The Avengers fighting the Chitauri in New York meant something as they became a beacon to that city. To battle in the middle of New York to defend the world meant a lot. By Avengers Tower, right? It meant a lot. Or by Stark Tower that eventually became Avengers Tower. Who? Brandon? Yeah, man. Brandon got to just say fuck Krispy Kreme, but he don't want to say that. He's still trying to get his little bag. I ain't mad at him.
Your teams fought the putties kind of on like that mountainside or wherever the heck they were. There was no one else around. So it didn't feel like, again, they were fighting for an empty audience. And then even when they fought near the Krispy Kreme and the Megazord, there were people around kind of, but it was just kind of them in their own world fighting against this enclosed bad guy battle. And I like when the audience, not the real audience as us watching the movie, but the people in the world are watching it take place and they're like, come on guys, you can do it, get back up. That to me has more power behind it than, hey, we're gonna have this battle.
Okay, I don't need motherfucker. Okay, Brett, that's a little corny. I don't need people on the ground going, get back up. I said get back up. Use a hero, right? You can do it. I don't need nobody in the background like that. That's so corny when movies do that. And I understand that sometimes it's supposed to represent a city riding for that person. And in certain moments, it can hit. Spider-Man 2 with the train sequence. Glad to have you back, Spider-Man. Hey, that hit. That's very emotional. But I don't need a scene like, let's say, in the first Spider-Man movie with Sam Raimi, hey, you messed with one of us, you messed with all of us. they throwing boxes of cereal and diapers and shit at Green Goblin. Man, he up here on a glider. Ooh, cereal. Frosted Flakes, apple juice, Applejack. Come on now. Ooh, hammer, screws, nails. ooh, Flex Seal, scrubbing bubbles, Windex. He don't need all that. If you don't shoot a missile with that motherfucking bridge and keep it pushing, come on, man. Come on. So no, I don't need people in Angel Grove cheering them on. Yeah, because that would have had no effect because at that point of the 2017 Power Rangers movie, the audience, or not the audience, but at that point of that film, that was the only time any of them were ever in public in their costumes. So what does random, here we go, Krispy Kreme employee seeing Jason run around in a Red Ranger costume, what does that do for them? It does nothing for them. They don't know who that is. Hell, I saw a bitch in all green summon a big ass gold monster from the ground 10 minutes ago. Now I see somebody in red running down the street. I don't know who's good or who's bad. So having the people in Angel Grove with picket signs, go Power Rangers, that don't make no fucking sense. It's stupid. It makes no sense. Now we're in the same universe as everything else. Then we're in the Mighty Morphin universe now. If that's the case, now if that's the thing for a 4th or 5th Power Rangers movie, I get that because they have a history with that town, with that city, with the world. But you can't have that in the first one. That's like kids in Iron Man. I love Iron Man in the first one. Don't know who the fuck that is. Come on, Brandon. Come on, Brennan. How the fuck you say your name, Brennan?
But there's not going to be a ton of people witnessing it. And I know at the end of the fight, they had people come out and witness. And we had the cameo with JDF, rest in peace, and Amy Jo Johnson. But it just felt more contrived. But
I do want to know how I'm getting my cut on this golf course.
Out of here.
The same way you make money off of everything, by doing absolutely nothing.
It's a
right. Not having any of that building explosion stuff happen.
That's what I'm doing.
Just felt very non-Power Ranger-y to me. So, yeah, personal grade. Number 4, the Zords. So speaking of character designs and monsters and all of that, the aesthetic of the Megazords themselves, or the Zords, it didn't land right with me. Like they looked more like Transformers than they looked like Power Ranger mech stuff.
I had a cookie this morning. That cookie is tearing my fat ass up. Nigga, my thighs are burning. First off, can we please, for the life of everybody, for my own ability to reach the age of 50, can we please let go of it having to be Power Rangery? That's part of the problem why this shit ain't around no more. It's too much holding on to the 90s. Let that shit go. Let it go. Every brand, every franchise has to eventually grow. I promise y'all, when that Voltron movie come out, they are going to do whatever they can within reason to modernize Voltron. Now, we've had Voltron on Netflix. We've had Voltron in different things over the years. But they're going to try like hell to modernize Voltron. Ain't going to be none of that. Dun 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 dun. Voltron, defender of the universe. No, ain't going to be none of that Fox Kids shit. It ain't going to be none of that. It's going to be modernized. So why is it Power Rangers is always being told, you got to go back to 93. You got to go back to 95 now. That's where you belong. No. Shit. Come on now. Let's push forward. Let's play with the big dogs. We ain't got to keep on walling around in the 90s, walling around with a box fan, walling around with Sunny D, walling around with Apple Jacks, walling around with Blockbuster Video and a PlayStation 1 and a Super Nintendo. No. Come on now. It's 2025. Shit. We got Uber Eats. Fuck a pizza delivery. We got Uber Eats now. Shit. We got fucking AI pussy. Shit. It's fucking AI Instagram models now. Come on, what we doing? Double XL magazine. Why? Playboy, Playgirl. We got Instagram. Shit. Come on now. Make no fucking sense. Holding on to the past like a motherfucker. Let it go.
So, to me, and it matched the aesthetic of the suits, but again, since I mentioned the suit aesthetic didn't do it for me, therefore it goes to follow that the Zord aesthetic didn't do it for me. I didn't like the glowing face thing on the Megazord. It didn't have, again, the personality. Like the normal Megazord is so iconic. And again, they could have done an updated version of it, you know, with like cool armor design and like different color, whatever, I don't care. But it should still pay homage, I felt, to the original. And they did.
He getting ready to do double talk. Watch.
With the theme song, you know, when the Zords all ran together, they played the Go Go Power Rangers. That was cool, but it doesn't look or feel like Power Rangers, at least not to me.
See, he has to say a criticism, then he has to back it up with positive reinforcement. Then he has to go, wait. But that's just me, though. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying that that's definitive. I'm just saying. All right. Next point. Oh, Brandon.
Number 3, tone. What I mean by tone is it felt like the movie had a hard time finding its footing with if they wanted to cater towards more mature themes or cater towards kid things. So, you know, the joke, they had a thing with the Red Ranger and a cow in the beginning. I'm not going to talk, you can watch it if you want to know what I'm talking about, which it seemed very mature. I mean, it was funny, but it was
why
like,
are you so scared? He's scared. Damn, I'm being afraid, motherfucker.
Interesting joke. And then later, they read a repulse to talking about Krispy Kreme donuts. I was like, what? So it just felt like throughout the movie, it was tonally a little all over the place, and it didn't.
Yeah, it was. They were fighting. You could tell early on they was fighting. They was like, should we try to make this like the MCU, a little bit serious with, you know, comedy bits spliced in, or should we just make it straight up for kids and hope all the people come see it because it's Power Rangers? Yeah, Game City. Yeah, that's Tyler from Dino Charge. He played the Red Ranger on Power Rangers Dino Charge. Yes, he is a Power Ranger. Yes, he is. For one of the better seasons, actually.
Didn't find its footing throughout. And it's not that either tone was bad. I think they just had to find one and kind of run with it more versus we're going to do this. Look, it's adult and mature. Oh, look, it's for kids. So I just got a little lost with what they were going for. So, and I think what they were going for is like trying to please everyone. But when you try to please everyone, you tend to please no one. Kind of like the bootleg.
Kind of like what your ass doing right now. I don't want to make nobody angry, but I want to make everybody happy. Come on, man. You got to pick, man. You know, red pill, blue pill.
Big Power Ranger thing that went viral on YouTube a while ago, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's so dark, so violent." But they committed to that path, and people are like, "Well, it's not Power Rangers," but a lot of people are like, "Yo, that's super cool and dark, and it's a cool idea." So for what it was, people appreciated it. They didn't try to then also throw in childish jokes. It was like, no, we're violent, we're dark, this is what it is. And I think if the movie went that route, or the other more kiddie Y7 route, it would have worked either way. They just kind of tried to cater to both, and then it kind of did neither. Number 2, fights. So I don't mean fights in the sense of the choreography that they used for the fights that did exist, but the quantity of fights was severely lacking for something that's so much about Power Ranger martial art type stuff.
Yeah, I agree. They had the pit fight sequence, which was really just the simu deck. It was a simu deck from in space, put on Earth basically. It's called the pit, where they were fighting the putty holograms. You had them, I guess, getting apprehended by Rita, if you want to count that as a fight scene. And of course, the last fight scene versus the putties as they head into Angel Grove were really the only fights from the whole damn movie.
I mean, Power Rangers inspired a generation to get into martial arts. You know, they had like the putty fight, they had the one Megazord fight, they had, you know, the civilian thing showcasing their powers and them running at one point. But it didn't feel like there was enough of the martial arts type fighting. It didn't do it for me with the level of fights they had. I love civilian fight scenes. I wanted to do more in Dino Charge, my own season. But whenever they do exist in Power Rangers or any kind of show, I always appreciate them because whether it's the actors or their stunt doubles or a combination of both, I always love the skill set that they showcase, and harder to hide the CGI when it's them versus.
That motherfucker look extra young. God damn, he still looks great nowadays, but boy, he look extra young right here. Shit. And like muscle-wise, he's smaller too. You know what I mean?
When they're in suits, and I felt like the movie just didn't have enough of either, to be honest. For being a Power Rangers movie, they had so much backstory of the characters to the point where they took away from the current story. It was cool hearing about Zordon and Rita Repulsa in the past, but they focused so much on things that we didn't need that they took away from the stuff that I felt would have made the movie stronger.
Nah, we needed that Zordon thing. We needed that because the show only had throwaway lines referencing him. So we needed to be able to know about his past so that there could be a sentimental attachment to him as a mentor throughout the franchise. They were trying to make a whole bunch of movies. So we needed that. We needed that, especially with Bryan Cranston. Like, you're not going to hire Bryan Cranston, who was coming off of Breaking Bad. You're not going to have him be Zordon in this movie and then say, oh, well, just be the big-ass block man on the wall. But instead, we're going to make you the Red Ranger on a different Earth and have you with emotional attachment to Rita Repulsa because she was your former Sixth Ranger since she had the green dragon coin. You know, those are things that you need in order to develop characters deeper on screen.
And number one, not casting me in the movie. No, seriously. You may...
He playing, right? He playing, right? He playing, right? He playing. He gotta be playing. He gotta be playing. Ain't no way.
I think I'm joking, but I did audition for the 2017 movie. Now, again, this isn't a knock against the current cast, but there's definitely something when you hire an actual fan who also, I guess, already has the experience of that role versus, I mean, I don't know if the current cast were fans or not, I have no idea. But I auditioned for the movie, I believe Camille auditioned for the movie, who was the Pink Ranger in Dino Charge. I think Yoshi Sudarso auditioned for the movie. No, he tried and they wouldn't let him, I think. But they let me and Camille audition for some reason. I auditioned for the Black Ranger, so I would have been Zach, which would have been awesome. But not sure this would have made a big difference with the movie, but there is something about having cast members who not only know the source material, but love the source material.
So let me get this straight. This motherfucker... Let me get this straight. So, you mean to tell me that he really thought, boy, they had that good fruit punch. They had that spiked fruit punch on set. They had the good drugs going around that set in New Zealand. They had that. They had the shit you can't get over here in the States going around that table. You mean to tell me he thought he was going to play Tyler in Dino Charge and Zach, two different characters at the... What year was Dino Charge? Because now I'm a little annoyed. What year was it? I want to make sure I'm right. Dino Charge is what year? Dino Charge was 2015. Dino Supercharge was 2016. So the 2017 Power Rangers movie was filming during 2016. So this man really thought that he was going to play Tyler Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, go travel to LA from New Zealand, go travel across the country to go film scenes for the 2017 Power Rangers movie? Nigga, who's your agent? Who is your agent? Nigga, I want that agent on my team. That agent was talking that good shit. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're going to get this role. Oh, you're amazing. You're the next Denzel Washington. Tom Cruise, who? Brad Pitt, what? You're better than Leonardo DiCaprio. We'll be glad to have you. You're already the Red Ranger.
For instance, in my season Power Rangers Dino Charge, Yoshi Sudarso, the Blue Ranger, and myself, the Red Ranger, both grew up being fans of Power Rangers, and I think that really came across in our performances and also the way we interacted with the rest of our castmates. So the energy and the insight we can bring is different than if I'm just an actor who booked a role and I enjoy acting and it's great and you can still do a great job, but when...
To keep it a buck, if we're going, no, I'm talking about that later. I'm talking about that after the video. Hold on.
When you're actually a fan of it, I just feel like the level of what you can delve into can be deeper and greater and bring out more truths to that material. But again, since the performances weren't really my issue with the movie, I can't say having me or Yoshi would have made you guys like it more other than as an Easter egg thing. But I think having us in some form, or someone like us, not even as a ranger, but someone who is a fan on our level, but also like part of Rangerdom history kind of deal, could have helped in some way. This video was a bit more serious, but if you want to watch me react to something a little bit more lighthearted, watch this video.
Okay, Tyler, you gotta work on that, brother. He pointed in the wrong direction. My man said, this video, and the shit over there, it's over there. Okay, girl, that BetterHelp bullshit. Your feelings are valid. Your feelings are valid. Okay, what he was getting ready to say about you should hire actors who are fans because they know the source material. They can give insight. To keep it a buck, studios don't like doing that because they feel like there's going to be interference if you're an actual fan of the source material. They feel like you're going to be on set fighting and tussling for too much control. So they like hiring people that don't necessarily know everything about said show, about said property, about that character, right? It's easier to mold you into what the studio wants you to become. Take, for instance, with Dragon Ball Evolution. Now, everybody on that set knew about Dragon Ball. It's one of the biggest mangas and animes of all fucking time. Okay, it dominated the 90s. I mean, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim was Dragon Ball. But imagine if Justin Chatwin, who played Goku, imagine if Amy Rossum, who played Bulma, imagine if Chow Yun-fat, who played Roshi, imagine if these people were really hardcore Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z fans. Imagine how hard it would have been for James Wong of Final Destination to direct that movie and put it together. If you, Justin Chatwin, you come in the set like this, you looking like Steve Rogers when he got out of the Super Soldier Serum in the first Avenger. You looking like that, right? You're on set fighting for control because you're like, no, it ain't supposed to be like this. So they like hiring people that know but don't really know. It's easier to mold. They wanted to hire Tyler or Camille or Yoshi. Come on. Yeah. They know once they put them in that movie, everybody's going to be like, oh, that's the Dino Charge Rangers. So it takes away from every damn scene they have. And kids are going to be in the audience wanting to see a Dino Charge movie, wondering why Tyler acting different. Right? Why Shelby being called Kimberly? Why Coda being called, who did he audition for? What, Billy? He might have auditioned for fucking Zach too. Why is Coda being called Zach? So no, I agree with some of the points about like the Megazord design, the placement of Krispy Kreme in the story. That was wacky as fuck. I agree with some of the things about the fight location. There needing to be more battles in the actual movie. I get that. The putties needing more design, I agree. But complaints about Zordon having too much plot, he needed that. We needed to understand what his reason was then and what his reason is now. We need for there to be an actual relatability connection he has to the Rangers. Because if you go back to the Mighty Morphin days, Zeo, Turbo, when Zordon was around, nigga, it was a little creepy. This big floating head in a time warp is recruiting teens. And then he goes and grabs a kid in Turbo. Come on, kid, fuck your future. Fuck them kids at St. Jude's. Come on now. It was fucked up. So he needed an actual reason, an actual motivation, actual spiritual connection to Jason to say, hey, look, I once led a team. I was once in your position. That deepens the meaning he has to the plot. Brandon. And then, what was up with all that double talk? All that double, triple, quadruple speech. He criticized and then be like, no, but I don't mean no disrespect. I mean, you are beautiful. It's just that, I don't really like how that toe is forming. That toe look like the movie Twister. It look a little fucked up, baby, but you is sexy though. Like, come on, all that double, triple, quadruple talk. Stop that. This shit's stupid. It's stupid. They can see you know that, right? I'm just playing. They can't see you. Don't. I love you though, okay? Okay. I love you too. You going to bed? Yeah. All right. But goddamn, man. Goddamn, bless Captain America. Bless Brendan. Bless the editor. And most importantly, that 2017 movie is always relevant in this community. Man, it's always up for conversation every single week because somebody says something, somebody reveals something, somebody complains about something. God. Oh, God, man, why? Nobody went to go see it. Not that many people. Oh, I guess the 2017 Power Rangers movie is one of those things that you watch and you go, nobody appreciates it right now, but let's wait a few years. The people are going to really start seeing value in it. It reminds me of the Eternals. Now, stay with me. I only seen the Eternals one time in a movie theater. I have no desire to see it again since then. But watch, I promise y'all, give it about 2 or 3 years. We're in 2025 now. About 2028, you're going to start seeing people be like, man, the Eternals is one of the greatest comic movies of all time. It's peak MCU. It's coming. All right? Like the Krispy Kreme in the 2017 Power Rangers movie. That's coming at you quick. It's coming at you hard. It's going to be everywhere. And you can't stop it.